right, welcome to another episode of the Diplomats, brought to you by diplomacybriefing.com. We are in officially the late game as we're going to be talking about the fall 1908 moves with our two awesome tattooed commentators, Audacious Hand and Superstition. I'm known as Gorhorns Go, but now you can see my real name, Ed Sullivan, but that's not much of a secret. In any event, we are going to start, boys, with what we talked about, the decision of the retreat, and would they both go to Bulgaria, which I thought Russia would do it, would pull the trigger based on his hatred of Konk and even give up position. You guys are like, he's got to move to Sevastopol, right? But
that's not true at all. I was you're terrible. I was the only one who said they would do it. I said, you guys both said that they wouldn't, and I said that my exact words were, I could see them getting into a dick swinging contest and both going there.
I feel like I said that.
I think I ended saying that if Italy
whatever
Russia to go to Bulgaria, it's really good for Italy. So I didn't discount it. I just thought it was a pro-Italy move. Obviously,
you're talking about the double retreat to Bulgaria, right?
Right.
Yeah.
In any event, they double retreated to Bulgaria in the winter.
No, my exact words were, I could see them getting into a dick swinging contest and both retreating there, which is exactly what happened.
I feel like that's my vocabulary hand. I really do. I feel like that's something I would say.
Maybe I was just channeling you that, but it was me who said it.
But in any event, Konk does not get into Bulgaria in the winter. Russia does not get into Bulgaria in the winter, so they both disband those respective fleet and army.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have the fall 1908. And I just want to go to what I think we talked about, that I talked about. I know I talked about this, was the stunning support of Tyrolia into Venice by Austria. I want to start there. I think it's the most significant move on the board. You can disagree with me if you like.
Oh, I agree. I think I can see what the logic was behind it, which I talked about last episode too, right? Where take Italy down a notch. You've got Germany's army kind of isolated in there, and you can kind of follow it in and maybe snatch those centers. I think what Austria didn't bank on is the fact that
Italy's going to flip.
That I can't tell what exactly Italy's doing here.
He's stabbing England.
Yeah.
But
he's decided to work with Germany.
But why, if he was working with Germany, why didn't he take Brest? Why the focus on disbanding the army in Picardy? I'm so confused.
He didn't want to retreat, I think, in the Mid-Atlantic.
I guess that could be it.
But I think Austria was banking on keeping Germany afloat to stall the other side. I don't think he was anticipating giving them a build.
Exactly. So, I mean, Germany played this perfectly.
Went down too.
Yeah, so this would have been a good move if Italy had not flipped.
Right.
And Germany was going to lose a center here, and then Germany is at 0 builds. But I think Germany, in any other time of the game, playing both sides like this might be bad, but I think Germany might have just sealed the game here by taking Venice and also getting Italy to flip.
I think the game's over. But what I'm really sort of puzzled by is this is a move that could have been done before. Italy could have stopped English growth, kept England down, and grown a lot further in prior moves when Doc was around.
Yeah.
And didn't. Yeah, we talked about that and didn't do it. And now, like, Italy's trying to board top. The hysterical thing here, though, is that Austria didn't even need to support the Tyrolean army in because the Venice moved to Piedmont to cover an open Marseille, which Italy obviously knew was going to be open.
Yep.
No, it's true. I mean, you've got to hand it to Germany here. I feel like I mentioned this last episode too, is we've just been, our focus has so been on, for instance, Italy and Austria and the dramas and the flashy moves, and we've never actually picked Germany to win, even though he's been head all game. And here he is. Here he is. Just people are still feeding him centers, doing anything about him.
Well, let's talk about the East a bit, because Germany is sort of the middle child who gets overlooked, who's doing all the great things for the family. But I guess I'm a tad surprised that if you're going to support Tyrolia into Venice, why you don't try and take Greece, which you can cover Bulgaria with Romania and Galicia, if that was, a concern. I guess he didn't know what Ukraine would do, but I could see Conk not. I mean, I don't really know what's going on here. You can see that Italy is supporting Conk into Bulgaria, which would have succeeded. But
right. I mean, the reason why he doesn't take Greece is because he assumed that the Ionian Sea would support Greece.
Correct.
I can't see from this board. What is the Ionian Sea doing here?
It's supporting Greece into the Ionian. It's doing nothing. It's holding.
That's bizarre. Why not support Greece? He's just so confident that Austria won't attack him, or
I guess.
oh, because then he can retreat to Bulgaria, perhaps. I don't know.
It seems like a bad play.
It seems like a bad play.
may have been a misorder.
Way overconfident misorder there. I mean, it worked, but it seems unnecessary. Unnecessary risk. I don't understand the Austrian move into the Ukraine, into Ukraine, because logic would say that he's going to try to bounce the support in. I could see that he might go for a disband, but you think he would support Vienna? I don't know.
I mean, we got to hand it to Germany. Getting into Tyrolia here was brilliant, because it looks like he kind of kept his cards close enough that Austria wasn't sure which way Germany would go. Again, it was kind of a Mexican standoff with Germany in the driver's seat, and Serbia supporting Trieste actually makes quite a difference, because Austria can't really move fast enough into Russia to win this game now without Budapest there to kind of push into Galicia. Trieste didn't have the confidence to try to tap Tyrolia to get into, to maybe like take a center from Germany. He just kind of froze Austria there, and Austria is in no position to take Greece, in no position to take anything from Germany, isn't going to be able to move fast enough into Russia to beat Germany.
Yeah, I think if I was in the same position, I would have left Russia alone, just because you won't be able to make gains there. And I would have supported Germany in, but followed Vienna that way. That way I'd be poised to take in more Italian centers, or at least pressure Germany a little bit if I needed to help someone take a center here or there. Because right now you're leaving Germany with all those centers, and you have 3 maybe that you have to grind out.
I don't know if it's much of a grind. That disband of Russia's army through the retreat essentially ceded Ukraine to Austria. It's got 3 on Sev.
Right,
now.
but the fact that there's a really large opportunity cost to moving neither Trieste nor Serbia. I mean, look, there's also
I get that, but
he could have even moved to Albania. He could have been in position to take Greece. Yeah, I mean, he just what can he take? I mean, he's going to take Sevastopol.
Yeah, but even if he pushes Russian centers, Kong's going to eat him up from the behind.
No, no, no. He's going to move the Ukraine army to Sevastopol, and then he's going to eat up Konk. He's got the fleet now, Bulgaria south coast. That's what's going to happen. He's going to get those Turkish centers.
But he also has Italy there. I don't know. I mean,
he's only got 2 units in Turkey, and Turkey gets a build.
Turkey gets a build.
That's going to be hard.
And Turkey builds what? I say army.
Army. Yeah.
I say fleet just because I want him to finally get into the Black Sea and to end the game. You know, in that one tile that he tried so hard to get for so much. But that's just me. I think Conk at this point wants to end the what's the name of his long manuscript? Oh, the Curse of Conk. Wants to end the Curse of Conk with a dramatic flourish, a good arc, a good narrative arc.
Well, what I want to see for that end there in the East is that Russia and Turkey end up with the exact same number of centers.
But I mean, regardless, I mean, I'm trying to think, is there a way they can stop Germany? I mean, with perfect co-op, so there's only, I mean, I don't know, Russia, the Ottoman Empire, and England.
They're not stopping Germany. Russia's helping Germany. Well, Russia is throwing his weight, such as it is.
What I'm saying is their intentions are hard to guess because they need to make their own meaning now, right? Or someone else needs to make meaning for them. In terms of the players who are still in this to some degree, do you guys think that with absolutely perfect cooperation between Italy and Austria, can they stop Germany now?
What does Germany build?
Army Kiel?
I mean, I would have thought Munich.
Oh, Munich's open.
Yeah, Munich doesn't need a build. It's tough because he could snatch centers from England, possibly from the UK.
Well, I think England. I don't know what England's going to do now.
England has a disband.
Well, England has to make a choice.
He doesn't.
Which player who stabbed me? England's choice is which player who stabbed me do I like less?
England doesn't have a disband.
Yeah, he lost Spain.
Well, they forced his hand with a disband. He doesn't get to choose because he lost the army.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do you make of this? I don't know if Germany knew what Italy was doing or not. Clearly not, right? Because of the move to Venice, but Paris moves to Burgundy, and Italy prioritizes Picardy over Burgundy
and Belgium. It's the second round in a row that he could have taken Belgium. Could have predicted that south bounce again. Obviously, there's no love lost with Germany. You can stab England and take 2.
It's like does Italy not? Has he forgotten that English Channel is contiguous with Belgium? I mean, it's like 3. It's.
I just don't know the allure of disbanding that army. He probably would have disbanded it on his own. You could have disbanded the German army, taken Belgium. You have 2 on Marseille.
Given the way my screen is, what did Picardy do?
Picardy went to Paris.
Yeah, Picardy went to Paris.
So apparently thought Italy is going to support him.
Yeah, I think he thought Italy was going to support him.
Because that was the same scenario that if England comes down to Paris, Burgundy goes up to Belgium, and then the North Sea comes down to Holland, Germany's losing 2 no matter what it does.
That would have actually been better for Italy even.
But even if it wanted to stab Spain, he would have had 1 and 1, and it would be great. Either way, Italy would be coming out in the positive.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no. Jordan,
by stabbing England for 1 and then still taking Belgium. 2 build. He needs all the builds he can get.
I mean, I think this just goes to show. I mean, I was thinking of there's quite a kerfuffle in the finals commentary where I don't even know, this guy DJ something came in and he was being a little bit shrill about outside factors influencing the game. And that was in the context of both of the aforementioned dick swinging contest between Russia and Turkey. But to be honest, setting people against each other is an art as well. I mean, I'm never going to forget the aftermath of the season 2 finals, for instance, which Ed, you were part of. I always admired Powa in that he not only won, but I would say almost everyone in the game squabbled and fought and hated each other for months afterwards.
No, to this day.
To this day. And he just sits there, he just sits there and just watches while everyone hates each other, and he won, and
he doesn't get enough credit, honestly, for that win.
The greatest finals player in Nexus. He won 2 years in a row, and people still act like he walked into it or was an accident or something. He's the best player. There's no argument. I mean, you could look at
you even tried to play a different way. You adopted a lot of my principles for the majority of the game, and so he's actually a very flexible and adaptive player too.
Right. He's flexible and adaptable, and not only that, but a truly great player where, like I said, everyone just squabbles for months afterwards. Like the poison you put in the well, like just does not wear off even when the game ends. And and you could say the same for Austria in the sense I thought it was brilliant for him to leave Bulgaria open in order to allow for the dick swinging contest between Turkey and Russia. But what Germany's done that at an even higher level, to the point where everyone seems to have this malice against each other while he just kind of picks up the pieces here.
I just don't know what Italy can do to even stay in the game. Italy's going to go to 7 with an army in Venice, has to build the army. With an army, I guess the question is what Austria does.
They have to work. I mean, Austria and Italy have to have perfect cooperation to even have a chance here. And who has the tiebreaker between Austria and Italy?
Italy.
Italy has the tiebreaker?
Yeah, because Austria, Italy, Turkey. Those are the last 3.
Italy picked last, I believe.
Huh?
I think Italy was the last pick, so has the tiebreaker.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Italy is yeah. So, I mean, the question is,
can he tie it up?
Well, they've done it before. I mean, Italy's been in tighter spots than this, but Austria needs to start understanding that his competition is not Italy anymore.
Yeah, I mean, props to Germany for making it seem that way. No, I mean, my questions. I almost wish I could see the board with the current outlay of the units, just because. Oh, is this it? Yeah. Is it even possible? Is there a way that they could possibly do this? God, I hate seeing that army in Picardy just surrounded by German armies. What was he thinking? He just disbanded the English army, and now the same thing's going to happen to him.
Well, I mean, even if he supports himself in the Brest, that's a bad retreat to Mid-Atlantic. He can't cover it.
It's a bad retreat, and it's so easily cut.
And if he moves the Mid-Atlantic first, it's probably going to destroy his army. So he's got to convoy out or take Brest and deal with the consequences and do a 50-50 area.
I'm not seeing a way that I think this game's over.
Okay, well, let's tease it out. Okay, which is Italy could recapture Venice, cover Marseille, lose Gascony, go back to Mid-Atlantic, maybe.
I mean, it has to be perfect cooperation, but you have to, if you're going to try to find a scenario where Germany doesn't win, it has to be perfect cooperation at least between Italy and Austria. I don't know what England's going to do here.
I mean, he can move to Tyrolia. Munich. I mean, Munich's got to probably go down, right? You would think.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you could do the legendary. This is something when I first started playing. Oh my god! When I first started playing, I had this weird fetish that I always wanted the triple attack on Germany in 1901 with the kind of the Neapolitan ice cream of Tyrolia, Bohemia, Silesia with Russia, Austria, and Italy. And every time I proposed this, it would get me attacked and killed right away until I realized it was a terrible idea. But I mean, could you somehow get Russia on board?
No chance. No chance. Russia is simply a Finlandization of Germany in the east. Those are German units.
What you think?
100%. That's why that's why Germany moved to Bohemia. He moved. Remember, he retreated to Bohemia, and then Russia disbanded Silesia when Russia could have had a free open into Berlin.
Well, I do. I mean, I do agree with you. I mean, my instinct says that's true. It's like I mentioned last turn, is that he went down trying to form a coalition against Germany. So now he wants to be right, and so he wants Germany to win, so that he can do the traditional AAR where you said, "I told you so, you idiots! If only it ever listened to me, then this wouldn't have happened." Right? Everyone else were fools. I don't know if but that's only a probability. I don't really want to indulge in psychologism. I don't really know what makes Russia tick necessarily.
Look, Austria is going to have to press against Russia, but he's going to have to take Conk out. It's a race for dots. There's 4 moves left.
It's just he needs 3 dots. There's no way to get them.
He's going to take Sevastopol. He'll take it with Ukraine.
Even so, he has to Ukraine. He could, or he could cut support from Moscow and take it with.
Cut support from Moscow because otherwise you can double support Sev out to Ukraine and stop it.
Yeah. So he has that, but then
he might take Greece. But, I don't know how Austria can do it without Italian cooperation. It's going to be really hard. I don't know the path, but there is a theoretical path for Austria to do it. But
I would say it'd probably be better to put Romania into Sevastopol, cut support to Moscow with Greece.
Right, and then try to
Bulgaria to Khan, but there's gonna be an army there, so.
I mean, you have to admit, and you have to think that the Ottomans. I mean, they were never wronged by the Germans either. I mean, largely due to geopolitics, but still, I mean.
I think the center is Greece, just because if Germany retreats, it's probably going to retreat to Apulia because.
Right.
And so Italy will either have to cover Naples or Greece. And so Italy will have to decide who gets what dot at that point. So
does Conk move to well, yeah, he's not going to give that dot to, he's not going to give Greece to the Aegean now. I mean, to Conk.
No, I mean, Greece will go to either Austria or Naples will go to Germany. But
well, does Tom have any other choice other than to build an army in Rome?
In Rome, I highly doubt it. I don't know why you would build anything else.
Well, I've seen him make some questionable decisions before, so that's why I tossed the question out.
Like the second time that he doesn't build an army in Rome in an advisable way.
Right.
I mean, what is he going to do with the fleet? Yeah, he really squandered a great position. It's a shame. I don't see a path forward. I just don't. I think Germany's won. I mean, maybe we should just end the podcast now. That my biggest regret is that my biggest regret is that I never had a moment where I ever rhapsodized about Germany.
What do you think England does? I mean, what could England do to Germany? It can't take Norway. And if Russia really is helping, I mean, Russia could put Germany into St. Pete.
I don't see Russia.
I think it can if Ukraine breaks support to Moscow, that Moscow unit's useless. So I don't think Russia can do anything to help Germany at this moment.
Yeah, I'm also not so sure. But I don't know him that well. It's just to me, I don't see it completely in character just to do an overt game throw.
He might intend if he's out of it. So that's pretty common in the finals.
Yeah, I think he's even alluded to it that if he's not board topping, he definitely does like to king make.
Right.
But it's so banal just to king make king anyway.
I mean, really,
maybe this is just me projecting, but if I'm king make, I want to like king make it some scandalous fashion and just put a crown on some undeserving child's emperor. I don't want to king make someone strong who actually deserves to be there. That'd be boring.
I don't know what England can do. What would you do with this mess if you were England? First of all, Italy may go to Irish and Liverpool in 09. You never know, right? I mean, that would be so. London's got to move around to Wales.
That could be why he wanted to be in Picardy. Maybe he wants to convoy to Wales, but it risks getting blocked, and
it's going to get blocked, right? You have to think that England's just going to go protect the island.
I mean, I don't think he's going to protect. I think he's going to push him out of. I think he'll just push him out of the channel, perhaps. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, but it seems so quixotic. I mean, or quixotic, however you pronounce that.
I think it's quixotic, but
it's pronounced Quixote. Anyway, whatever. But I know what you mean. It seems ridiculous to continue pressing against Italy when Germany is so clearly going to win. I mean, maybe they've just all given up. Maybe Germany through his. I was complaining about this in public chat. I mean, he hasn't given us one scrap of bread and circuses. I mean, this is probably why we never celebrate him, is he never gives us anything to work with. Come on.
Okay, well, hand. Was the stab correct then?
Oh, against Italy? I mean, against England?
England? Are you wrong?
I suppose I am.
Am I right?
Yes, Ed.
There you go. Nobody ever says that to me in the game of diplomacy, so.
I know how to apologize. That's actually my greatest skill in this game, I have to admit.
There's been a lot of squandered opportunities to bring Germany down, though.
I know.
That might be good diplomacy or something, because, like I said, he could have went down too, and yeah, now he's just too good position.
But that's what I was saying earlier. I mean, sometimes that's what it takes, is just to sit there and make everyone else hate each other. Just put few drops of poison in the well and slowly expand. I mean, it's not the kind of German win you usually see. I mean, I feel like Germany usually see a lot of kind of smashing west, smashing east, kind of spectacular, crushing plays. And that's not what he did. He never really, drilled into Russia. He kind of had what.
Well, he moved back. I thought that was his greatest victory.
Oh yeah, that really dramatic shift west where he had 4 armies uninterrupted moving west. That was his most spectacular play, and we did give him props for that.
All right, so what centers can Germany take? I mean, if there's an AI, a late started AI, I guess. Well, theoretically, St. Petersburg is vulnerable, but that's tricky with the situation with the fleets.
All you have to do is move Sweden. That's all you have to do.
All you have
Does
to
he
do.
does he
Not
make the move to
getting-
Gascony?
No one's getting to 10. He doesn't need any more centers. Like he might trade one. He lose Venice and get something else, but he probably even would win with 9.
Venice is great because even if it retreats, it still has access to a ton of undefended centers.
Yeah.
You defend them, then it leaves everything else open.
I mean, what he? I mean, I would say he'll quite possibly support into Gascony. And,
Okay, let's see the things we can agree on. We can agree that Russia, Turkey, England officially have no path. They're ready to draw, correct? Maybe
Okay.
not Turkey. He'll want more units than Russia or try and get even.
well, they're not going to draw. There's no point. And that's not. But I mean, the question is, what do they want out of this game? Who they want to hurt? Who they want to help? Do they want to be right? Do they want to write ARs where they just say "I told you so" and waggle their finger at people? Do they want, like, for instance, in Turkey's case, does he just want the kind of the bonus points of territorial integrity by having Anatolia back? I mean, yeah, exactly. If you see there, he had all his home centers gone. So, what you doing here, Ed?
Look at Consul. I look forward to hearing the reasons why Austria's one-dot stab of me was a stroke of brilliance befitting a finals board instead of the greedy, short-sighted buffoonery that it looks like to me. I understand that was like 2 weeks ago, but I'm not thinking Conk is going to be there to super help Austria. I think Conk looks at Austria as the original person who messed his game up. I just don't know if he ever thought he'd work it with Russia.
I mean, like I mentioned this before. I mean, is the knife between the ribs or the slowly tightening noose worse? I think the latter, but he can't really hurt Russia more than he already has, and more than Russia has hurt himself by that mutual retreat to Bulgaria, which honestly hurt Russia more than Ottomans. I would guess that he's going to play just to liberate the old empire and to end where he started.
All right, what does Russia play for?
I think Russia wants to be right. He wants Germany to win so that he can be right and say that everyone else was a fool for not going against Germany with him.
What does England want?
Keith, you tell me here.
England just wants an ally that won't stab them.
England is Switzerland now. I think he's going to go back to his island and hide out. Disband St. Petersburg and move on. Okay. In a percentage chance.
I'm just wondering, like, it's just such an odd stab to me. I just wonder if there isn't something we're not seeing between Italy and England here, but
they are mixed up, and there is no good path forward for either of them.
I know, but it's just
they're not in better position.
No,
they're in markedly worse position.
I mean, the fleet in Brest is just useless now.
It would have been much better for Italy to support England into Belgium if that was the issue.
Or himself, but either way.
Or himself. I mean, but
Italy he just has had such a series of errors to the point where he just left himself with no good options.
Okay, so I don't want to turn this into a polling contest between Trump and Biden, and it's 100% that Biden's going to win. But if we're looking at sort of percentage chance of Italy pulling it off and just getting even with the board top, you would have to think somehow Italy has to get 2 more and Germany has to come down 1.
So if Italy gets Venice, for some reason,
there's no way.
Liverpool
and Brest. It's a stretch.
I think Germany's gonna fucking, excuse my language, I think Germany's going to put that army in Gascony, and if he can, well, I suppose Italy could break that by tapping Paris, but I mean, Germany could even take Brest himself if he like got into Gascony and Picardy.
Well, what's to stop Germany from? Well, he can move. Well, he can't move out of Belgium. I'm sorry. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, if Italy gets into like London, convoys there, and guesses that Wales will be covered, or if he gets into Wales and gets to Liverpool and takes back Venice and is able to still cover Naples and guess right with Marseille, then they can tie with 9 and he'll win the tiebreaker.
I'll give Italy a 15% chance.
That's generous.
1 out of every 7.5. There's a lot of unknowns we don't know, but Italy's moves are very perplexing, at least to the outsider.
I mean, if it convoys, there's a 50-50 chance of it being blocked. Plus the idea of English Channel being dislodged. And if you take Brest as your unit, then you have a 50-50 chance on Iberia. And that's
it all leaves our center open.
Yeah, it's not even counting German pressure.
All right. So, what Superstition? What chances do you give? I think we've lost hand here. What chances do you give Italy?
It's about 7%, just because of all the math. There's
All
3
right.
different fronts that have to work perfectly. He's got to get the boot, he's got to keep Iberia, and he's got to steal either one center in France or get a successful convoy. It's not looking good.
Hand percentage.
Math isn't my strong suit.
All right, we'll split the baby between 15 and 7. We'll give you an 11.
I'll do 10. I was going to say 1 out of 10, I suppose. That seems high.
All right, Austria's chances percentage. I give him 25%. No, 20%.
20? Where is he getting the centers from?
I think he's got a better chance to. Okay, so they're gonna have to take 1 off Germany, and I think he can get 2. He can get Sevastopol. He can get Greece.
I think he'd be better off trying to get Venice, but I don't know.
He might be able to get Venice. It's hard to know what Munich's gonna do.
Yeah.
It's hard to know what Vienna's gonna do.
All I can see is what I would like to see is just a grand alliance come in and just one last attempt at a German gangbang, which still might not work. Just fill all the tiles around Germany and give it one last shot.
What's the incentive structure for Russia to do that?
None.
Could you do that without Russia hand?
No, but I mean, I think you guys are. I mean, for me, like if I was Russia, there's something of an incentive structure. I mean, not everyone is motivated by pure resentment and bad memories. I mean, maybe he's just tired of being known as the guy who held all game while everyone else was killed and wants to be part of, wants to don a hat with very big plumes in it and get astride a great stallion and just be at the front of one last push. As I said, like maybe instead of wanting to be right about Russia, he wants to lead the charge. I mean, right about Germany's ascent, he wants to lead the charge.
I don't think it's anything about that.
I
think Russia's just a pure analyst. And he's like, if I agree to some grand alliance to stop Germany, all that is going to do is enable Austria to take my dots. And I'm not going to give Austria my dots.
Yeah, it could be.
I think all Austria really has to do is support Italy in getting its home centers back and secure and just take 2 more. And the The hard part is keeping it away from Turkey. You're not going to have enough units with that fleet grounded to be able
Actually,
to.
no, you're right. Like I said, like actually that is the route. So if you could get perfect Italo-Austrian cooperation, they could peacefully partition Anatolia, and they could take a dot away from Germany. And they could tell each other, well, you have the tiebreaker.
It's
Well,
risky.
if we can at least get to the point where one of us could win, right? That's still better than where we are now, where neither of us can win. So if they can agree to divide up Turkey, they can work perfectly together.
Yeah.
Well, this reminds me. I'm going to say that Austria reminds me of myself. I'm the fool who put Pala into Moscow in the fall of '08, and
Yeah,
I
you
think
weren't
Austria.
cool. You listen to people too much.
No, but I think that move was critical. I could have just held. I didn't have to support it in. And I
Yeah.
think that,
If he takes Germany down in Venice and then he pivots Serbia to Bulgaria and Bulgaria to Aegean, it gives him leverage to take over Turkish centers. And you're looking at a potential 999
yeah,
or 998 with
yeah.
that's
It almost the peaceful partitioning of Anatolia, and then just taking one dot away from Germany. There you go. That's the path forward.
there's only two logical reasons why Austria did this, I think. One is he thought he could get position on Germany to take Venice, or two, he wanted to cripple Italy without knowing that there was going to be a stab
Exactly. No,
and get Italy back on side.
That's exactly what happened. What he did, he didn't realize. He thought that Germany was going to lose a center here.
If Italy got two builds here, that would have been really bad for Austria.
Yeah, he thought Germany was going to lose a center and that Italy was about to go up too. And again, good for Germany. Everyone's worried about each other, even though he has 9 centers. And maybe shutting up is a good idea. I should write down in my notebook.
Roll.
Okay, last section, the most popular section with our listener, our grades for 1908. Start with Turkey.
I mean, he didn't take the Italian support, but he didn't have to, and now he has full reign over his home centers. I really like it. Granted, he's not going to win, but it's kind of nice to be like, I'm on the brink of death, isolated in Greece, and then come back and have all your home centers just ready to.
A minus because of the retreat issue that he couldn't even get Ewok on side for that with Russia. He could have had 3 if that could have happened. That would have been an A with 5 pluses on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we mentioned this last episode, but it's an A minus just because instead of having that retreat issue, you could have just moved into the south coast of Bulgaria.
Yep.
There wasn't really a need to support from Greece. So yeah, A minus.
Russia.
Can you go back to the moves possibly? Is that all right?
It's for the whole season for Russia. So here's how Russia started and here's how Russia ended.
Like they didn't hold Romania because that would have worked. And
yeah, I mean, supporting Sevastopol was pretty smart. And he did block him out of Galicia, so B plus. I mean, what is he playing for? It's so hard to get people grades when you don't know what they're playing for, though. That's the thing.
He's playing to slow down Austria. He's playing to slow down Austria and Turkey's role. That's it.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true, though, because he could have denied Austria a build if he let Turkey retreat. I don't know if that was more anti-Austria or pro-Italy, or if he just really doesn't like Turkey. So that's just the motives there. Because right now that helped Italy out a ton. Because Greece. So
Well, if his goal was just to,
if his goal is to cripple Austria, he should have let Austria go down a dot.
well, with the retreat, his goal was just to, I think, do a little theater and also kind of, stick his tongue out at the Ottomans one more time. I'm gonna give, maybe not a B plus. I'll just give him a B.
He was losing the unit anyways. He's got to disband something, and it wasn't really necessary. So, I mean, I don't think that was a bad retreat. So,
I mean,
I think it was a bad retreat.
It was definitely a bad retreat.
I think it was a bad retreat for this reason. He sacrificed the Ukraine. By the way, I think the people of Ukraine just want to be called Ukraine now, not the Ukraine, but it's still the Ukraine to me. He sacrificed the Ukraine in doing that. And if you're going to make that move, I think he should have played more risky in a way to try and keep it.
But he had that gif of the kittens being pushed together. I think he wanted to use that. So I think he played
it too safe in the fall. I give him a C. I mean, who am I? He's a better player than I am, but yeah. I think he let emotion get over him in this deal, because I think Superstition is right. If he really wanted to hurt Austria, he would have let Konk retreat there. That was really his goal. Instead, he prioritized hurting Konk. A total irrelevancy.
He didn't want to hurt Austria. He wanted to run over and kick the Ottoman Emperor in the balls, and so he succeeded at that.
Right. He prioritized Konk, hatred of Konk over anything else.
Possibly, or he prioritized Italy. We don't know.
And I think it's going to end up to where Konk may even have the same or one more center at the end.
Because logically, Greece is never going to flip unless they put a lot more units down there, and I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
I gave him my grades. Superstition grade for Russia.
C, just because I hated the spring.
England. I'm getting tired. Sorry, England.
I mean, I feel like Brest could have done something a little more proactive than the silly support to Gascony.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't like that they weren't bold as a team in the spring, and I think it shows here that he was left without an ally because there was just no other clear options for Italy.
Yeah. I feel like English is supposed to be a really annoying ally.
Well, the way I look at it is the negatives are he can't get. I mean, there's a clear stab opportunity for Italy that we talked about that didn't happen, but he can't find a friend. That is ultimately a diplomatic failure. There's no chance North Holland would have succeeded. He theoretically risked the North Sea, but he didn't by not cutting. Well, I guess he did cut Norway with St. Petersburg. But if you're going to do that, he could have moved to Skagerrak. I mean, if he's in for a penny, he's in for a pound. And he got stabbed by his ally. I got to give him a D.
I like the English moveset had he had Germany or Italy on board. But they should have done a lot of these moves in the spring and put the nail in the coffin for Germany this season. But
why don't you think he and also sorry I interrupted you earlier. I don't know if you had a thought going there. But why not tap the English Channel with Brest? So, for instance, it looks to me like he thought he was going to get support into Paris. What did he think English Channel was doing?
Probably supporting Burgundy into Belgium, like I had said last time and this time. So you wouldn't want to, because that would bring Germany down for Belgium, and then England should have gotten Paris.
I think he may have thought English Channel would move to Belgium.
Yeah, no, I think Keith is right. He probably thought Burgundy was going to Belgium, and then his move to Holland sets up a kind of either or choice where Germany has to either support Belgium or self bounce in Holland. I mean, it's kind of pathetic that Germany has just been self bouncing in Holland over and over again, and that's worked. I mean,
and Italy could have still gone to Gascony next season, next year. I mean, Spain is just wide open. I guess he didn't want England to get another bill, but I don't know.
What would have England built? England would have built an army against Germany.
Yep. Probably an army and then convoyed it somewhere. But yeah.
I just think it was a couple turns too late for Italy. He had a chance to really neutralize England. And he didn't do it.
Yeah. I did call the flip, though.
You did.
But yeah, that's for England's.
Austria, yeah. What's his grade? D. Key, superstition?
For Austria?
England. Oh, did you give Austria a grade? England a grade?
The D, yeah. That was the first.
3 Ds. Okay, Austria's grade.
It has to be a D. Has to be a D, and it's not actually just because of the support into Venice, which would have kind of vaguely made sense if what happened.
I don't understand the support in the
what he thought. It's just, yeah. What I don't like is Serbia and Trieste not doing anything. It's also like strangely uncharacteristic for him. He's been so kind of mobile and aggressive, and then just to have two units that aren't doing much there. Moved to Albania, moved to Budapest, moved to Tyrolia. There's a lot of options. Even moved to Bulgaria, then you have the Aegean able to do something more than be grounded in Bulgaria. That's what cost him, is just, to me, is those two armies doing nothing in really places that aren't particularly useful.
I grade him down. I would have been okay with the support into Venice if Vienna had followed through to Tyrolia.
Yeah.
But even then, Italy would be building.
Yeah.
And defending.
I just see the support for Trieste as very paranoid. Like, in what world do you think that those two are going to work together to take you down one?
I mean, I give the credit there to Germany, though, because Italy supported him into Tyrolia, and Germany just played this game where he kept them both guessing, and they're both, and Italy and Austria are both so worried about who Germany is going to side on, neither of them even considers actually working against Germany.
Because Serbia could have covered Bulgaria, and then you could have covered Smyrna with your.
The Serbian support of Trieste is just inexcusable. It's terrible. Yeah.
Well, it's a diplomatic failure that he couldn't get Germany to support him into Venice. And that you could see that he wasn't quite trusting the Venice there with that support, which is why he did it from Serbia.
I mean, it's kind of
paranoia is right, whoever said that.
It's paranoia. But even still, like I said, if I'm going to put him in Venice, I'm going to follow in Tyrolia, a power tile. I mean, even if I had to pivot Romania to Galicia and Serbia to Romania, just to make sure I kept that dot. I mean, you need the pressure on Germany. That's your rival.
Okay. Grade superstition for Austria.
I don't like the Serbia. Serbia is the only thing that Serbia and the support in the Ukraine I don't understand. I'm gonna give it a D because it's a lot of missed position.
I'll go D plus. Give him a 70. C minus.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Well, I mean, actually, you know what? You got to bring his grade up because he had that. It was pretty brilliant of him earlier, if we're doing a full year, of him to leave Bulgaria open so that the Ottomans and the Russians would have the temptation to have that dick swinging contest and both kind of press into each other. So yeah, you kind of have to raise his grade there. I guess it comes up to a C if you average out the spring and the fall.
I didn't like
Yeah, the fall is really terrible. I mean, the thing is, I give a lot of credit to Germany for that. Yeah, I'm going to give him a C. I think you're right, Ed. I think it's like a C minus all in all.
That's the second time you said that. We're counting now.
Yeah.
Okay. A plus for Germany. A with 2 pluses. I think
Have
he
you
sealed
given
the
it?
game. I think if you look at my percentages, he's got a over 60% chance of winning.
Are you going to give a quadruple plus before this game's over? You've given a triple already.
The winner gets the quintuple,
Oh, wow.
but I think he's won it here.
You know, with all these compliments you're getting from me, you kind of remind me of Germany this game. You kind of sat there, no one gave you credit, and then at the end, we're all like, "Oh, you were right." Yeah, Germany gets an A, and Germany gets an A. That move to Tyrolia, and then the Mexican standoff, and then keeping both sides paranoid. I mean, he basically won the game there.
Set up by the retreat to Bohemia.
Yeah. Yeah, the retreat to Bohemia, which we were so perplexed by. Great sequence. He gets an A. He poisoned the well. He moved to Tyrolia.
I mean, look at this brilliance. Who put the man into Tyrolia?
Yeah, Italy did exactly.
Oops.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely an A. I mean, the fact that you can get away with a self bounce in Holland twice, that's
Three times, I think.
That's just gross.
Yeah, it's
You should
annoying.
have lost Belgium so many times.
2 times. Okay. Well, we always ask this question, but I think we've answered it. Anyone want to make an argument against Germany not winning the season 5 Nexus finals?
Against Germany not winning. Yes, he is gonna win.
Most likely to win unless they end up tying it somehow, I think.
I think Germany sealed the deal here. It would take both perfect cooperation between at least Italy and Austria, if not more. And oh wow, it's just me. You guys just see me at the big screen now, or okay? Well, that's cool. This is how.
No. I'm doing this to for a particular reason, which is to bring up the order of ties. Germany would lose any tiebreaker in this situation.
There is that, but I mean, even for that to happen, you need perfect cooperation between at least 2 powers and some luck. I think Germany sealed the deal here. I think he has. Unless we see some kind of grand alliance or some perfect Italian-Austrian play, it's over. And it kills me. I can't believe an IMM player has won again. It's just disgusting.
Well, Kutuzov, I believe, was in the speedboat finals for season 1 of Nexus. He's a very good player, and has done what he needed to do when he needed to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say congratulations yet, but I would be putting that champagne on ice, waiting for the big Hollywood deal to come through. In Scarface terms, he's got the power, he's got the money, and he's 2 seasons away from getting the women.
Yep. The women. Okay.
First you get the power, then you get the money, then you get the women. Come on.
I'm familiar, but I believe that works better for the cocaine industry than for Nexus diplomacy. But
okay, first of all, it's not cocaine; it's yayo. If we're going to be throwing Scarface terms out,
right.
But, get the yayo. I think that was an invented term by Al Pacino. But all right, Any final thoughts? You don't have to have any final thoughts, but if you do, now would be the time to say them.
Well, my final thought is you've clearly never heard the Nicotina classic Heyo for Yayo. But aside from that, my final thought is I feel a little bit of embarrassment that I did not champion Germany more, and that it took me this long to see him as someone who could truly win this. The shift west, the daisy chain of armies west, and now the move to Tyrolia, though. I overuse this word, but those were beautiful moves, and I congratulate him for that. I loved Austria's play, and I'm really sad to see him go out like this, especially with the kind of some more static moves that are not representative of his style, but it is what it is.
I think Germany's got the best shot to win. Austria has a chance with an Italian alliance to tie this up for his win. And I think the biggest upset is if England's really still pissed off at Germany, he could still just throw it to Italy, and that would be your Italian win. He's the only really big kingmaker that would be an upset. So I don't think Russia and Turkey can kingmake significantly compared to England.
Okay, and my final thought is I look forward to a day when my vocabulary, even though I believe I read at a very high level, could match Audacious Hand's vocabulary. Quite impressive, the word choices he has.